You're listening to Workforce Innovation News, powered by LWIA 23. Get ready to hear about all things workforce development and workforce innovation. And now, on to the episode.
Hello, welcome to WIN Workforce Innovation News. I am Jamie Korda-Hijawi, the director for LWIA 23. I have with me today Chris Strohl, Dean of Workforce and Community Education at Lakeland College, and the lovely Laurie Jennings is back, the director for WIOA at CEFS. Thank you guys for joining me today, and I'm really excited for this conversation because you are two of my favorite people. Don't tell anyone else that. That's our secret. No one else will know about, but I love talking to you guys. You're so much fun, and I know we're going to have a great conversation today. So I brought you guys here, or got you guys online anyway, here to talk about our OneStop Center in Effingham. We are getting ready to possibly, finally reopen for walk-in traffic for our Title I workforce services. And this is really exciting because we've been closed for walk-ins like 2 years now, more than that, a couple decades. I don't know, time means nothing these days, but way too long we've been closed. So this prospect of being able to reopen and be able to serve additional people with workforce services, it's super exciting. And I wanted to use this opportunity to kind of get everyone re-excited about it, learn a little bit more what OneStop Center is and how it helps our local workforce. So Chris and Laurie, I don't know, one of you want to go into like what the one-stop operator is and what your roles are as the one-stop operator?
Chris, would you like to take that one?
Sure. I'll let Laurie finish up all the things that I forget. One-stop operator really is about being able to offer all of the WIOA services, or at least referrals to those services in one location. So when someone comes in and they are unemployed or they are looking for employment, maybe they're currently employed and are looking to upskill or looking to move on to something new, the OneStop is a place that they can come to not only receive that service about employment, but also to receive services as far as adult education, if they're looking to get their GED or finish their high school diploma, if they're looking for English as a second language, might be some courses that they're looking for. They also can receive services if they've got any kind of disability or anything that would hinder them from maybe being able to be employed. Laurie, what else would you consider the one-stop piece?
For anyone coming into the workforce centers, we do provide a lot of internet access. Many of our folks coming in the doors, they do not have access to the internet or maybe have a computer at home, so they can access all those resources on the computer. We have hard copy materials, job information. We do have job boards that are available in the office. Our resource room specialist is real good about keeping those current, where we have employers, they will contact us and ask us to post, if they have any openings in the area. Job seekers, they can do a lot of job search activities in the office. They can develop cover letters, resumes. Our resource room specialists can also assist with that if they're not real comfortable doing that. But we've got the software that'll even help them. It's a resume builder. So it's easy to operate and get them on the computer and get that started.
So what it sounds like, Laurie, is that there's a lot of resources, physical resources in one physical location. And that has been something that a lot of us have missed during the pandemic. When everything went online and call into a phone line, access this website, hop on this Zoom meeting, whatever it was, everything kind of got spread out again. And you would have to go to multiple different places to get all these different services. And the OneStop is really a physical location where you can go in and get assistance or resources from several different entities, organizations, and get physical help with things like the internet access. And I know a lot of people are probably thinking, who doesn't have internet at home? But we're seeing in rural America, especially, the digital divide is a real thing. And it's not even just the lack of infrastructure, but also just people not knowing how to use digital media and options. They still have a flip phone, so they're not exactly sure how to use that smartphone. So Chris, I know you working at Lakeland and having a hand in a lot of the academic programs and seeing all of the modalities switching from in-person classes to online classes or asynchronous virtual classes. How do you see that digital divide there at Lakeland, and how much do you think it's helpful to have that one stop open in person for people to access?
Jamie, I think there are people that are perfectly fine with doing anything online, whether it's courses, paying their bills, resumes, applying for jobs. There are many people that are perfectly fine doing that. Those are not necessarily the people that need assistance from us at different times. The people who would rather be in person and with someone walking them through. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with that. It's just that some people just are not comfortable with doing things online. The other part is where I live, I'm at home today. Where I live, our internet access is not great. Some days it's really, really good. Some days not so good. It's not that we don't have the means to pay for it. We just don't have the service in the area where we live. So sometimes it's not about that you don't feel comfortable using it. It's that you just don't have it where you live. So then you see people that are going to a parking lot, to a restaurant, to someplace like that to be able to fill out a job application or to work on something for their coursework if they're in college or even if they were in high school during a pandemic. They're pulling up into a parking lot and using internet from a public place, a library, something like that. So it's not always about that you don't have it, it's that you don't have the resources where you live. So I think that not only affects people who are looking at education, but it also affects someone who's a job seeker. So what we saw at the college was people who, some thrive in that online environment. They really like staying at home and being able to work at their own pace. And other people are like, it's just not for me. I'd really rather be in a classroom and interact with someone. So some of it is just, we all learn or we all react differently in different situations we're in.
Absolutely. So Laurie, with the individuals that your team serves, are you thinking that we're going to see a lot of foot traffic now come in for workforce services in that one stop? Or do you think people are just now accustomed to accessing things online? What do you foresee happening once we reopen?
You know, really, I don't know what to expect. I'm optimistic that we will have more folks coming in, you know, once they find out our doors are open again and will access a lot of our services. But I do think people have, you know, the last 2.5 years, that's just became, you know, a way of life for us. And a lot of people are comfortable, you know, with doing it online themselves. But like you said, there's a lot of people that want that, you know, extra assistance, you know, that we can give them one-on-one in the office. So, you know, I'm excited, you know, we are opening, but, you know, I don't know what that's going to look like. So once we get those doors open, maybe those numbers will start going up for us once they find out we're open.
That's one thing we've learned during this pandemic, that our crystal balls are all cracked. None of them work right. We have no idea what to expect. And now I'm even hesitant when I'm very confident, like, yes, things are going to get better. I bite my tongue. I'm not sure because anything could happen at any moment. So you're right. I don't think we can really anticipate what it's going to look like, but we can be hopeful that more people are going to get the services that they need.
And I think maybe once the word gets out that our doors are open, I think we will see more people coming in.
Absolutely. And you bring up a good point when word gets out, because as we know, Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, the funds that go with it, we are the best kept secret. So how do we get the word out? I know word of mouth is the best and most popular, most effective way of getting word out, but it's also the one that we can't control very well. So what are your plans, or what are your suggestions how we can get people to realize that there are so many services available at that one stop and they will be more easily accessible now?
Well, I think we can always turn to social media, as one to get a lot of the word out, but maybe also, reaching the press, letting them know. I'm sure there will be some type of formal information put out to everyone that the doors are open, and hopefully that, I'm not sure what else, we'll be doing.
Yeah, we haven't
think
been
even
through this
some of
before,
our-
so it's hard to, we haven't been through this before, so it's hard to even know what's the best way of going about it. What are your thoughts on it, Chris?
I think our partner agencies will help us, whether they are our WIOA partners or they are some of our other social service partners in the area. I think they can get that word out to some of their clients, some of their participants, their students, so that they know those services are available again in person.
That's a good point. And I know Lori did an excellent job of explaining all the different services that are available at the One Stop, but I don't know that I remember us talking specifically about what organizations are even there. We know we have workforce in the house, but what else is located there at the One Stop that people can access? What other organizations are there?
In the One Stop, the Illinois Department of Employment Security is there. And at this time, and I think even when our doors open, for those IDES, that will be by appointment only. That will continue. They can access a variety. Those are the two physical, WIOA and IDES are on site. They can access Department of Rehabilitation Services. They can also access adult education. And those are the core partners.
And sometimes when you've got someone that has a disability, they need some of the extra services and maybe don't have some of those resources at home. So it's nice for them to be able to come to the One Stop and someone can help them, whether it's that they need a special keyboard to be able to type on, or they have a hearing impairment and they need some help with some of those pieces. Department of Rehabilitation offers some of those services at different locations or can get them the resources that they need. In addition to, and Lori, you brought a little bit of this up, adult education can help them so that they can attain the skills that they need so that they can go out and get a job and then look to CEFS for incumbent worker training or for some additional upskilling so that they're able to have some upward mobility within their positions.
Absolutely. You talk about the core partners, and I don't know that most of our listeners understand that WIOA is really a big umbrella for workforce, and so many different people have a stake in workforce. So many different agencies, organizations, like we're all working ultimately to the common goal of being a successful society, and one of those ways is through workforce. So we not only have our workforce partners, our Title I partners, which is CEFS and LWIA 23 working together as a team, but we also have Illinois Community College Board, and we often see that as adult education, but also just in general career and technical education at community colleges and other training providers as well. And then Title III would be our Illinois Department for Employment Services, IDES. Title IV being the Department of Rehabilitation Services and Department of Human Services. And then depending on what WIOA information you read, we have Title V as well, which is the National Department on Aging. So we do have resources from National ABLE that I believe are also available and very easily accessible at the One Stop. So all of these partners with all these stakes in workforce do come together, and we come together under that roof of the One Stop. So when we say, Lori, you described all of those services very beautifully, and we all offer them in some capacity and in other things as well. So we all really work together to try to make workforce stronger in our community. So it's really awesome that that we're getting some walk-in traffic in there and opening back up. And I know things are not going to look like they did in the past, but knowing that like unemployment is going to be appointment only, and we're not, just things are going to look a little bit differently. So can you, again, with that broken crystal ball, can you kind of tell our listeners who might be visiting the One Stop after it reopens, what to expect to be different?
I think one of the first things they will see is we do have guards that are at the One Stop. So you will be greeted by a guard before you get to come in the door. That was not there before. So there's actually 2 security people in place for us. And you'll be directed if, it's a walk-in person, you'll be directed over to the resource room specialist. And at that time, she will assess, exactly what you're coming in for, how can we help you? Everyone that comes in the door, they're looking for something different. And it might be where it's just a referral they need, or maybe it's that hands-on sitting down with them at the computer. But that will be the biggest difference, I think, being met at that front door. And, that's kind of been new for us too. But other than that, I think, basically it's going to be about the same as it was before.
Awesome. So gearing up and getting ready, how soon do you think this is going to reopen? I know we've talked about it for quite a while, and I do know we've made a lot of progress very recently to getting reopened, but are we still thinking like it's going to be any day now, or are we projecting out it might be a few more months yet? Maybe this is going to get published and we're still not quite open, but hopefully in an ideal world, this episode will be published and we'll be just opening right around that same time. So what is your take on that?
I'm hoping it will be in the next couple months that we'll be able to open the doors. It might be sooner. So we really don't know. But at this point we are, looking, kind of gearing up for that reopening and looking at ways to better serve those folks that are coming in the doors, and how we can best, because it is going to be a little bit different. The number of individuals, we're not going to be able to allow, lots of people in the door at, the same time. We're going to be limited to the number of people coming in. So, being able to offer them, the best services that we can.
And I think as the one-stop operators, the thing that Laurie and I will continue to do is be persistent. There is barriers and roadblocks to getting the one-stop open just because of location and who's there and some of those other pieces. And every time we think we're almost there, there's another document that needs filled out, or there is another person to talk with. So some of that is on our part is going to be being persistent and making sure that we're getting all the pieces in place so that we are able to open up. And even though it will be to limited numbers of people, we will still be there then. There will be people there that can help them. And I haven't met the new resource room person, but I'm sure that that person is going to be able to help individuals with some of the needs some of the services that they need so that they can continue on.
Any parting thoughts that you want to share with our listeners regarding the reopening of the One Stop, the services that are available there now, and what is going to be available as soon as we are completely reopened? Any parting thoughts or anything you want to share?
Just really looking forward to having those doors open again, and, being able to better serve, the people in our community, and, help with those employment needs. We've got, a lot of job seekers out there that don't know where to go, don't know, a lot of the information that's out there. So hopefully we'll get those doors open and have all those services available to those people.
I think my thing would be do some research on what WIOA is. I know we've talked a little bit about what it is today, kind of overarching, but Jamie said earlier, we're the best kept secret. We have so many services that are available to individuals in the area that have barriers to employment and to education. And I still feel like we are underutilized in most of our areas. So get the word out about the different services that we provide. Many of the services that we provide are free. I mean, I say many, I think all are free, but I don't want to use the term all. But many of the services we provide are free of charge to individuals who have socioeconomic barriers, who have hit a hard patch in their life, are trying to raise a family, have had some sort of something happen in their lives that they just need a little bit of help to get them back on the path. And we have so many resources that are able to help them. So get the word out so that individuals that need our help can come and see us.
So what I'm hearing you say there, Chris, is that if this is the first WIN podcast episode you're listening to, please listen to some of our other ones that explain WIOA a bit more. And even if this isn't your first one you're listening to, please share it so that more people will know what's going on and what opportunities and services are out there for individuals. Word of mouth, again, we talk about that's probably the most efficient and strongest way of spreading the word, but it's the one we can control the least. So I'm hopeful that our listeners today and listeners in the future share the information that they are receiving, even if it's something that you don't use yourself or you don't see the value in it for yourself. There are so many people out there that may have use for what we offer, who may need assistance, who may just need someone to talk to see what other resources are out there that we haven't explored. So please share the information, and that is all we can ask, is just help us not be such a secret.
You've been listening to Workforce Innovation News powered by LWIA 23. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. To learn more about LWIA 23, visit lwa23.net.